Alrighty, another day at Unitech Engineering. As a mold making apprentice, I'm Isaac and I work here. So today is another day to do some more machining for these tooling parts, and today we are working on a cooling insert for a core. And this core is a core insert for a mold that produces jars and caps. So as you can see, there's a setup right there, and taking out the core, the cooling insert. And this cooling insert, there's multiple setups that are required because there's so many different cuts and features on this cooling insert, and there's a lot of channels the water has to flow through on the cooling insert. And I'm not going to get into the details of what this cooling insert is, but basically there's a lot of cuts I got to do, a lot of setups I got to do, and a lot of programs I got to do. So this is one of the programs, setups rather. I'm just taking out the chips off the sides of these V blocks and the bottom. There's a lot of chips there. Setup is 2 V blocks, a stopper on the left, and 2 plates on the bottom. These plates are the same thickness. Here's a new part that I'm going to cut. Got about 30 of these parts, and you can see that there's a gauge pin that's sticking out of the dowel pin hole on the side of the part, and I'm going to locate the dowel pin hole in a specific way for each part, using a gauge block to touch the dowel pin, the gauge pin with, so that the dowel pin hole can be located in the same exact spot in relation to the cut that we're doing. So just gotta start the program and basically let it run, and then I'm gonna go to the other CNC where I'm actually, that CNC is the one that that drills the dowel pin hole and makes a couple of side slots with the in the same program of the dowel pin hole. And so I guess this CNC I'm at right now is actually the second program, the second cut for this cooling insert. Obviously there's this cooling insert was lathed before making these features on the CNCs, and after the lathing we had some vendors actually do the lathing, because sometimes it's actually more cheaper to find vendors who are specially set up for example, lathes. They might be specially set up to where they are more efficient and cost efficient for this kind of machining. So that's what we did. And so all we're doing for these cooling inserts is we're bringing them in from those vendors. They lathe everything. All we gotta do is make all the channels and little other features with our CNCs, and that's it. So this is the first setup for these cooling inserts that we're doing, which is, like I said, the dowel pin hole and a couple of side slots. The setup is a little different because the part is on its side. Gonna start the program, clean the part, and just let these 2 CNCs run while I make more programs for the next setups, for the next cuts. Alrighty. Just gonna put this finished one for the next CNC. Like to double check sometimes. Double checking is never a waste of time, in my opinion. Can never go wrong with another check. Takes like a minute. Doesn't really take that much time. It might feel like a pain in the ass in your head, but it actually doesn't take much time, and it's always good to do. Alright, I'm at my table now, and here I'm basically going to make more programs. You could see that I'm on Mastercam right now. There's a wire mesh of the parts that I imported from SolidWorks. As you can see, SolidWorks right now. I drew that out on SolidWorks, and then I imported it to Mastercam in a Parasolid file. And all I'm gonna do is locate what I'm doing right now is locating the position of the part, and then going to make some new programs. And after what actually happens after today is I figure out that there's so many cuts that I need to do, because if you can see on the left side of the screen, there's a sample part of a finished part of the cooling insert, and you can see that there's a lot of little slots all around the insert. And because we don't have a 4th axis rotary table, we can't just make one program and just do all of the cuts on the sides. So we have to make a setup for each angle, each feature basically on the side. And so what I did well, first of all, we do plan on getting a rotary table. If we get a rotary table, if we continue to do a lot of these kinds of projects from this kind of customer, and if we do, then we don't have to think about getting a rotary. We don't have to think about doing multiple setups and all that. But because we don't have that right now, I made a fixture, and unfortunately I can't really show that fixture in this video because I thought of it later and made it later. But I made a fixture to basically allow me to not center the part and set the Z every single time. And maybe I'll make that in another video, but just as a note here, I am thinking a lot about efficiency all the time, and just wanted to say that I did not make a setup for each cut, because that would be a huge waste of time. So basically this is what I do all day, just make programs, and then when I hear the CNCs stop running, I just go swap out the parts like I am right now. So that's basically what I do all day, is swap out parts and make programs. And so I'm gonna call it here. That's the end of the video. We have successfully swapped out some parts and started making some programs for the next cuts. And so if you need a custom mold and you're looking for vendors, give us an email or call. It's in the description below, and we will give you a free quote. A disclaimer is our molds are US made, not cheap, so please don't expect Chinese prices. Thank you for watching.